Alright guys, I don't know if y'all can see this weather, but ugh, rain. We ended up driving straight through it too. There's only about 4 of us. We're doing a small loop for the Sonic bike night. I think this was on a Thursday. Waiting for everybody to get set up, and here we go. Or maybe not. You're right with the group, it's always better to stay with them, so here we go. Now one thing I'll say is only 2 of us made it out to Sonic. The rest of them took the fuck off. Everybody got scared. Just a little bit of rain and everybody was terrified. I think me and the yellow bike over the R6, we drove through the rain. It rained a little hard. It wasn't bad, but like it was super cold. And we drove through it. I don't know, it rained for probably like 5-6 minutes. Something like that. Probably 5 to 6. Anyways, after the 5 to 6 minutes of rain, it just stopped and we didn't see any more the rest of the night, so it was an interesting day. We thought it was gonna be a lot worse, but everybody got scared, I guess. There's a lot of traffic on this road, and they're actually working on rebuilding it. They're gonna redo all these roads from where I turn at to get on this road, all the way down the road to the American Bank Center from what I was reading. So maybe we won't have as many bumps as we did last time. Because right now it's like a bunch of patchwork and there's just like big bumps of asphalt everywhere. And it is not super fun to ride over. And naturally we're gonna hit every light in the freaking planet. Now, one thing you'll notice about these, well, I'd say 2019 through like 2021, this is probably the case. The stock ECU is tuned in a way where, like, at a certain point, you just lose all power in your bike. Like, and they also rev limited it like way earlier than it should have been. So naturally, this bike definitely is running about like, I would have to say like 10 horsepower less than it should be. And you lose like half your horsepower once you get to 14,000, I think, somewhere around there. I've seen a lot of dyno numbers on these, and it definitely seems like you're not getting your full bike until you tune it. So I will definitely be doing that here shortly. There's a couple of things I was thinking about doing. I mean, the main ones really would be the last things I need to do, because I've already swapped the exhaust out. I need to get a air filter. The air filter lets your engine breathe a little bit more, gets more air in there. And then get the ECU tuned. Now, I'm thinking about putting a power commander in there to have multiple maps, because what I'm thinking is I want to be able to run MR12, which is like a race fuel. It gives you about another 10 horsepower. But I also want to be able to run the pump fuel. And I was thinking maybe putting like a 25 or 30 shot on this bike. Now, there's going to be some issues here. Oh, if y'all didn't see what just happened there, this brand new R1 almost wrecked straight into the back end of a Hummer. Anyways, so back to what I was saying, I need a new air filter, I need to get an ECU tune, and after that, there's only like a couple of things I can do, like chain and sprocket. I kind of want to keep like the same gearing, maybe go up one in the back. I think you get a little bit more top end. But the front gearing seems fine already. It's already plenty torquey. I'm thinking these bikes only have like 50 torque, something like that. It's like, I don't even know if it's 50. I think it's like 49, so it's like barely even there. Maybe that's why the 650 feels like it has a little bit more pull right off the bat, especially in the mid-range. You know, these bikes aren't known for their mid-range power. Now you can increase it by these ECU tunes. It just depends on who you get it done by. Like some people actually, you know what they're doing behind the ECU and actually open up your bike. Like you can gain like 8 to 10 horsepower all the way across, extend the rev limiter, and also increase that end like horsepower from like 68 horsepower when you're at like 14,000. So the horsepower like drops down to like 38. Like 38 horsepower around 14,000 RPMs. And I think that's in either 5th or 6th gear. You know, what's happening is like Kawasaki knows that people are gonna go really fast on these bikes, so they kind of like cut it back a little bit, so you're not getting your full bike basically. Even though you paid for it, you're not getting it. So I think with that, chain sprocket, the ECU, the filter, and now that I have the exhaust, like that'll make one mean bike. I mean, it's still only a 600, you know, there's much faster bikes, thousands are so much faster. And then after that, like really, if I put a power commander and add a map switch, because right now you only have a high and low power mode, and I think they can use the low power mode for like a MR12 map or whatever, and I'm thinking maybe we do that and then throw like a fucking 25 or 30 shot. Yeah, that's nitrous, if y'all don't know. Now the problem though is, you know, you're gaining 40, 50 horsepower during the spray, and these bikes are super light, so it's gonna wheel you like out of fucking control. And that's why you see people stretching the back ends of their bikes out, because when they have too much horsepower for what they have there, it is what it is. But man, we hit traffic all the way. This is called the Saratoga Loop, and it just was nothing but traffic. Now luckily I can use a little bit of editing magic to get rid of the parts where we're just sitting there. It was a good night. You know, even though it rained and only like 4 of us actually made it to bike night, and it wasn't these two, the two on the right, the R1 and whatever that Sportster or whatever is, they took off. They got scared, I guess. The rain just scares people sometimes. I'm just not even bothered by water. But here we go. We made it. We went pretty far. I mean, it was a good night regardless. The people that were actually hanging out there were super excited. They're like, wow, y'all are pros. Y'all drove through the rain. It's like, man, I'm soaked right now. The rain was hitting me. It felt like little pellets. You know, when you're going like 80 on the highway, and it's raining sideways on you, it's like, oh, you're like against the wind too. It wasn't too bad, but my bike got really dirty, so I had to clean that off. Speaking of, I noticed that the scumbags that are at Cycle Plaza, the place that I bought my bike, like straight up dirtbagged my bike, they forgot to put in a screw or a grommet. No, it was a grommet. And the grommet was what holds the screw in to the windshield and attaches the windshield to the fairings, which makes the windshield not wobbly. Well, they didn't put the grommet in there, and I went to go take the windshield off to clean it because it got super dirty from the rain, and I also went to add some more lights, obviously. And naturally, I noticed right away that they just dropped the screw in there. Like, it was loose the whole time. I was like, what the hell? So I had some parts from the 650 that came off that stock, what was it? Stock exhaust and all that stuff, the headers and all that. I had a couple of these little, I think they call them like, it's not a bow nut, it's some type of weird nut that you can turn with your hands. He got off his bike. He's like, fuck it, I'm out of here. He's like, it's a piece of crap. Sworcesters. This is a smart way when you get stuck behind these long ass fucking lights. He's like, fuck it, I'm going home. Leave the bike there. Is that pretty nice? I think it's an 06 R6. Or no, 08 R6. It's pretty fast. He did chain sprocket and ECU tune and a couple other things. I really wish Corpus Christi would come out with a drag strip so we could actually settle some of these racing complaints. You know, who knows, maybe I'll be the one to make it. Not sure if we got approved, we could go find a bank that would actually fund it and start making money off of it. You need a lot of land though. But that's something that Corpus definitely doesn't have, and it needs it really bad. We used to have a, I don't know if it was, well, we have a go-kart track here. But we used to have some other stuff like that. I love how this bike sounds. When you put an exhaust on it, like any of the good sounding exhausts, it's just like so good every single time. Uh-oh. Did you hear him like downshift 3 times? Not too bad. Ring. Anyways, guys, I will see you in the next one.